Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. So glad to have you all the like 50 people that be watching my videos. Today I'm gonna talk about how your followers on social media aren't your friends. So if that sounds of any interest to you, keep watching. Inspired by some posts that I put on my story on Instagram. I'm trying to get better at doing my makeup or become more comfortable at the idea of me doing my makeup, and so by recording these videos I'm also holding myself accountable to that. Yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. Every weekday I put word of the days on my story, and it's really just a way to inspire and lift up people, set reminders, motivational quotes. A lot of them are inspired by things that go on throughout the day, the week, my life, but some of them are quotes directly that I get directly from other sources. And last week on Friday, I believe, I put up a series of quotes slash reminders to people, and I got a decent response, and whether it's from people reposting what I put or saying that I should make a podcast out of it or a video out of it, I think that the feedback was great, and so I decided this is gonna be my next video. So I'm gonna read you guys what I had said, a couple of the ones that I said that influenced it, and also I'll put it somewhere on the screen so you can read it too. I said, community, although in some ways it can be, is not interchangeable for Instagram followers. Please remember this. And then the next one that I put that's within that same category is, social media is not real life. Relationships still need to be built / sustained in person. Conversations still need to be had in person. What influenced me saying all that was because I found that people were, at least people that I follow, a decent amount, I felt like were doing certain things that made me feel like they felt the need to explain certain things in their life to their followers. And whilst I understand like that may be the relationship that certain people have with social media, I just want to remind people that the people that follow on social media aren't your friends, and you don't really owe them explanations for what goes on in your personal life. I understand why that it can be so easy to get sucked into this idea that you should or you have to, because we share so much or so little, depending on how you use your social media, with our followers. But even then, like, you don't owe your followers an explanation unless that's like the platform. There was this Instagram person, she promoted herself as vegan, and she got caught eating fish, and she has like over 1 million followers, and she gets money from being a vegan. So when people saw that she was going against what she preached, people were angry, and I can understand because she's getting paid for that. But if it's just your personal stuff you're putting up on Instagram, like, I just don't think it's that serious. I don't think it's that deep. I was a bit more generous with the foundation, and I used the squidgy thing that I didn't use last time. I have a friend who told me that I'm supposed to wet this before I use it, which I didn't do this time, so next time I'll try and remember to do that. The relationship I have chosen to have with social media is that I use it as an archiving system, which in a previous video I mentioned how that's one of the ways in which I look after my mental health. I'll link that somewhere. Hopefully I'll do that, yeah. And so I use social media as an archiving system for my life's journey and for my personal growth, and to see how far I've come over the years. And that's through like just experiences I share, whether that's through photos or captions or whatnot. And so it just happens to be that through that process people are able to access it and view it, and I don't mind that at all. And I think for me at least, it helps me have a healthy relationship with social media because I'm not trying to do anything for anyone. I use social media solely for myself. So if something happens or if I go through something, I don't feel the need to explain to my followers why I'm doing that thing, because it's for me. If anyone asks and I want to, I'll explain that directly, but I don't think it's necessary, or I don't think we should necessarily feel obliged to explain things that are going on in our personal life to our followers. And I guess, of course, it's different depending on the kind of account you run, you know? Like if your account's private and you only accept people you know, then that's a lot more intimate of a relationship. But my Instagram account at the moment is public, and like anybody can follow me and anybody can see what I'm up to. And so because of that, there are definitely complete strangers following me that have access to what I choose to share. And that's not me. Like, I mean, it is me, but it's not completely me, you know? There's so much more to me. That's only what I choose to share. There are things that go on in my life outside of social media that I don't share that definitely influence what I put on social media. And so because of that, there are so many underlying layers to things that I may post. To have to explain that, or to feel like I have to explain that, would just be like a lot. And I just want to remind people that you don't need to explain yourself. Like, you don't have to explain yourself. You shouldn't feel obliged to. If you want to, by all means, do what you want. You know what I mean? Like, it's your life, do what you want. But that's just my take on it, and that's how I approach social media so that it's healthy for me.
You ain't gotta do too much. It's written all over your face. Maybe we can keep in touch.
I got these cute new eyeliners, and I'm excited to use them. I think I'm gonna use the copper. See how that looks. I was supposed to use an angled brush to put this on my eyelids, but I was feeling lazy, so I didn't, and now I've made a mess. And that's fine. Woo! I'm gonna try and fix it.
Freeway, I couldn't wait to have with you, 'cause I know time you home.
Look at the colors. I'm gonna use this one, and I know I should have probably put the eyeshadow on first. Oh my gosh, what? Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't think that made much of a difference, but good, because I didn't know what I was doing. I got the angled brush with this black eyeliner. So let's see. I hope this video doesn't make it seem like I'm trying to tell anyone how to have a relationship with their followers or whatnot. It's really just a reminder that social media, of course, it's all very specific to who you are and the kind of relationship you have with your followers and your accounts and whatnot, but just to remember that you don't necessarily owe an explanation to people about what you choose to post on social media when there's so much more to you than just that surface level. Unless, of course, you're doing some like stuff that needs explaining, you know? When I say your followers aren't your friends, what I mean by that, of course, I know that people have followers that are their friends, or maybe all of them are your friends, you know, however you're defining friend and what, but what I meant by that was that for one, at least with the way I define friendships, there's a certain amount of intimacy that I share with my friends that not everyone that follows me or that I follow will necessarily get. And so I don't want anyone to feel like they're obliged to necessarily share parts of themselves that they normally wouldn't, because they feel like they have to explain themselves when these people aren't like your friends. They're just people on the internet who follow you. And that's really more so me speaking to like complete strangers that I don't know, or that you don't have necessarily like have a very close relationship with. And then in terms of relationships needing to be sustained in person, I think, you know, like it's definitely the digital age and we're doing so much online, and I think sometimes that means that the relationships happening like the whole sharing space and time in person is kind of pushed to the back burner, or it's kind of seen like not necessarily as much as a priority because we've had a conversation on Instagram or on FaceTime or whatnot. And I think it's important for us to remember that physical connection is still really important. There was a time last week or 2 weeks ago when Instagram shut down, and when it came, I thought there was something wrong with my phone, so I was like, oh, okay, and that was the extent to which I cared about it. But I remember when Instagram came back and people were like, oh my gosh, I realized that I don't cultivate my friendships outside of Instagram, because when it was down, it was like, what am I doing? And that to me was a huge wake-up call for everyone. It was also a reminder to myself that like, wow, we're really out here sustaining relationships online but not in person. So when it's time to meet in person, because we're so used to curating this profile or this image of us online, then it can get a bit, I don't know, it's kind of like you're meeting a version of yourself that you don't necessarily usually meet because you're doing so much of yourself online. I feel like I've spoken enough. I'm gonna try and use this, what I use for contouring on my lips, because I like the color and I just want to know what it would look like on my lips. So we're gonna try. I like it. This hair, I was gonna take it out for you guys. Faith did it. If you don't know, she's the one that did my hair in the last video. She's incredible. But I was gonna take it out, but I kind of like it in these big braids, so I'm gonna keep it like that. I also wanted to put on this jumper, but it's hard to get over my head with makeup on, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to share, subscribe to my channel, and give it a thumbs up. I would suggest clicking on the notifications button so you know every time I put up a video, and I will see you next time.